I'm Hannah Ezel, and it's a good day to have a good day. Let's meet the next Clarksvillian that everybody should know.
So introduce yourself and your business.
So my name is Tanisha Sanchez Ogle. I am the owner and creator of Little Happy Ogles. We sell educational wooden peg dolls for kids and personalized ones. So if you have any ideas, I can probably create them in like a funky little way. And I also make sensory boxes and activities for kids, just to help them out in their education, development, and anything that has to do with learning about the world.
I love sensory bins for my kids. Like, being able to put something in front of them, I've seen them entertained for hours, which is
magical.
saying a lot. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so what got you started? What are you...
Okay, so I have a bachelor's in speech, so I've had 4 years of learning how to educate children and teaching them how to learn language and speech. So I have like a background on that, and then I was a registered behavior technician.
Oh,
So I worked with kids with autism in town.
yeah.
So that's something that brought more ideas and more ways to teach kids in different ways, just because that those kids with autism learn very different than other kids.
Yeah, it sounds like you have all the tools.
And I like to learn, so I read a lot and research a lot. So that's something I do, like at 1 in the morning, just read like stuff about education and kids and development.
Meanwhile, I'm like scrolling TikTok.
Yeah. But yeah, and I just created them because I wanted something for my baby.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me see what I can create for him that he can use since he's like a baby until like toddler age.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like having that whole background to be able to morph that into a business, like for my kids, I would love to have things like that they can just kind of grab and play with, because I feel like finding entertainment for them,
it's very hard.
can be so hard. And look, my daughter is really bright, and so to entertain her at all or challenge her at all is a challenge for me. Like, I expected it to be easier for me to be able to challenge her, but she knows, I obviously can't just like read her chapter books. I guess I could.
Yeah.
I guess I could, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. No, and especially now with technology, it's very hard to entertain kids for a long period of time when you have a 10-minute video and then you just put it and they're happy.
So true, and like that functional, actual using their motor skills, using their brain to problem solve.
Yep.
I loved. I made one sensory bin. My husband hated it though because it was just rice all over the floor all the time. I loved it though because it would entertain her for so long. What's been the biggest surprise for you as you've been going through this business?
Meeting people in town that were interested in it. So I just started it just to start it and do something fun for my baby and create little like figures for him so he can play. And then I was like, okay, let me put it out there. And I never thought people would be like into it as much as I was.
Yeah.
So that was like very surprising to me to have that type of like feedback and people interested in it and wanting more and more.
That does not surprise me at all. Dominique's here with us today. I don't know a single mom who would not want to be able to just pick something up and be able to, because it takes time to build those things and the know-how. I'm not as, you can't do it. That's why I have you here.
Yeah.
What is something most people don't know about your business, about you?
So me personally, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Oh.
So every time I say that, everybody's like, you don't have an accent.
Not at all.
I was like, well, I grew up with a bilingual family.
That's really cool.
So we started in Spanish, and then we got to English, and then we got to Spanglish, and then...
I envy that so much, though. Do you give the same to your son, or do you speak Spanish?
He understands more Spanish than English.
It's pretty awesome, though. I mean, he'll pick up the English just fine.
Yeah, because of school and stuff like that, he'll pick it up. So Spanish, I talk to him in Spanish, my family talks to him in Spanish, and he understands that. And then for my business, I think people don't. Okay. I think people would be surprised to know like how much I think about the product.
Yeah.
I think they're so surprised in like how many ways you can use them.
Yeah.
Because usually when you see something like that, they're just little peg people, so you automatically think about like dolls.
Yeah.
But or like moving them around. But to me, I just think 5 more steps that you can use them.
That's great.
And that's surprising to a lot of people. They're like, oh, you do them with this and this and this and do that and that, and they're like, oh,
This is a very useful toy.
yeah, it's not just like some wooden people that
Yeah.
you just throw around. So I think that surprises a lot of people.
What are some ways that like most surprise people when you're like, you could use this and this and this? Like, what's
So usually is when I tell them that they can use them for reading.
Yeah.
So how I use them for him for reading is, so I read like a sentence,
Yeah.
and then the little friend is like reading with him.
Oh.
So it's like following the words.
Like the sing along ball that goes
Yeah.
on. That's
So
so
instead of using your finger,
Yeah.
you use the toy. So that way they're like looking at it instead of your finger.
I can see that, yeah. And connecting it to something that's like a
Yeah.
plaything.
And then
Smart.
I also make characters. So like if we're reading a book about animals, I have little animals and just like show him to him.
Cute.
So it's not the same as like a picture.
Yeah. And so then you can like play with it.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
touch.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
That is something people are like, oh, you use it for that? I'm like, yeah, you
Sure
can use
do.
it for that.
That's so smart. What's been your most memorable experience in the business?
I've been doing some vendor events.
Fun.
So around town, and I've been meeting people that use them. So that's been really cool. One mom came to me and she was like buying her 3rd set, and she's like, we use them all the time. My kids like run with them everywhere, but I keep them like in a box so that way. And she was explaining to me the whole like situation in her house that she cannot lose one of them. If not, she will throw a whole fit in the house.
I love that though.
And she just like was so happy that even her like 6, 7, 8-year-old was playing with it.
Oh yeah.
So she was like explaining to me that she was playing with her, like I think she was 2 or 3-year-old, and she was making a whole scenery of like construction people. And then the 8-year-old like joined in, and it was most of the 9-year-old.
That is awesome.
And that was like really
Affirming.
good
Yeah.
to feel, just to know like, oh, okay, they're using them.
They're not just like toys. I
Yeah.
have like one of those big trunks, and it's just like toys all in it.
Mhm.
But I'm trying to have more of that organized. Like, okay, these things get to play together, and these
Yeah.
things get to play together.
So that was like very like, wow, like I'm glad you're using
You're really
them.
making
and
tools for these kids.
yeah, so I was like, woof.
That's so cool, and I feel like that's very validating to be able to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, these
Especially-
parents, these people really need these.
Especially when I thought about like nobody was gonna like use them or play with them
Yeah.
and stuff. And then it's not the same as in writing
Yeah.
than to hear from a person and see them like light up
Really,
and
like, this is important
yeah.
to me.
yeah. So that was like very like, wow, this is something cool that I'm
I feel
doing
like we
for
all have that
everybody.
inner voice. It's like, no, like nobody's gonna listen to this. Nobody's gonna look at this. Nobody's gonna play with this. And then,
And
yeah,
then
that's
here
so,
comes
like,
somebody
actually,
random.
yeah. I don't know you, and I still love your products.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If you could go back and tell younger you anything, what would you tell her?
I would just tell her to keep going to the library.
I love that.
I was always the kid that was in the library during lunch or just reading and like
That's
doing
adorable. I love that.
like playing teacher and stuff like that. Keep doing that because that's what kept me going
Yeah.
through like college and work and stuff. Because that's like my main goal. I just want to teach. I want to provide something for kids because I know sometimes they're left out.
Yeah.
Especially with like craziness around and now with technology, they're usually, it sounds mean, but if you think about it, sometimes they're just left out and just given a tablet and just do
So
it.
true. Absolutely.
So I would tell that to myself, like just keep going to the library, keep learning, keep researching, keep being a teacher.
I love that.
Yeah, because I used to teach to my stuffed animals.
That's adorable. I feel like I need that advice too. I stopped going to the library and I was a real library kid. So, I've been thinking about that.
We usually go to the one down here and we just play around.
It's so good.
Yeah.
They've got a great kid area too.
He loves it.
Of course you do, buddy. You're gonna be a genius. So one of my questions is, what's your favorite thing to do in Clarksville? I feel like a library might be top of that list.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Me and my husband usually go to the gym. So that is like...
You're like the person I want to be. I love that.
He goes more.
Yeah.
But we usually go, and I do classes. I do Zumba and stuff. I just find it more entertaining than just running on a treadmill. And we also do a lot of like the events that the city throws.
Yeah.
So like the vendor events and the downtown market.
Love that.
Just because there's a booth there that sells macarons.
Yes.
Macarons.
Yes.
I don't know how to say that. And every time I go, I have to go there and spend some money.
Absolutely.
So we enjoy those types of activities where we have to be in the community.
You'll definitely catch me at the farmer's market almost every weekend. It's my favorite.
Yeah, so that's usually what we do, at least for me, and then shopping around.
I mean, naturally, Mrs. Fields, what can you do? That's awesome. How do you want to be remembered?
I really want to be remembered as that person that brought something different to people around her, especially in business.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of friends that have businesses, and we do something different. And I really want to be that person that everybody like, oh, you remember that girl that sold this, or you remember this girl that did this. I want to be that person, at least.
I feel like you got that going, like in the community.
Yeah,
definitely.
So at least in that area where kids and education and teaching, I want to be remembered for that.
Yeah.
Just because there's so many different businesses in town and stuff, so I want to be remembered for that, and it's really cool to like see people around and be like, oh, I see you on Facebook, I see your stuff, and I was like, oh, cool.
Thank you. I'm just buying my avocados.
Yeah. So it's really, really fun, and I think I'm making a little bit of difference.
At least
with at least with my little friends.
Well, I think that matters. Like,
yeah.
And I see that growing. What about you? What do you see in your future?
I hope I keep doing this, so that way I can put a little bit of money into like my family and stuff, just because I used to work all the time and like a paycheck coming, and then it stopped because I became a stay-at-home mom. So that was a very hard hit.
Yeah.
Especially for someone that started working since 15.
Right.
So I just wanted to get to a level where I'm like at least getting enough money to buy diapers, you know?
I get that.
So,
I would say that don't value yourself monetarily only because what you're doing matters, and I know you know that.
Yeah.
So much.
So that's like my big goal, is to at least have a little bit of help there.
Yeah.
And that I can do an impact on kids and just.
It seems like you're like wrapping everything together.
Yeah.
Like this will bring an income for your family, but you're giving so much to the community to be like, and to kids around you to be able to have that imaginative play.
Yeah. No, and it's something different where I thought about, okay, so everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that, what can I do that I'm good at?
Yeah.
And bring it into like everybody else.
Yeah.
And that was like the main thing that I could think of, other than sensory boxes or something.
I mean, all the above. Sounds like you've got it really going on.
But yeah, that's basically it, and I just want to keep learning and teaching and stuff, so that's my main goal.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Activities, different stuff to do.
Can you hold these up to the?
Yes. So I have a collection with the I Am Enough movement with Monica. She has a book about positive affirmations for kids, and we have,
Hey.
Oh, he dropped it.
Oh no.
Here.
These are so cute, and I love that these are like they're not people.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually little affirmations. While like these are people and these are Halloween characters.
So housing. These are based on her book, so they're different affirmations. So we wanted to create something that the kids can have in their hands while they're talking positively about themselves.
I love that.
So this is like, I am kind, I am loved, I am smart, I am calm. So that way when you're reading, you can use them like, okay, this is something I can.
Well, I feel like also if they're having a tantrum, it could be a moment of like, let's give you this. Remember that you are enough, and I feel like they could hold on to that. I feel like personally, I could handle a little.
And the activity, the activity is it has like a card with what is being enough or being kind, being any affirmation, and then in the back, if they're big kids, they can write down, I am enough because.
That. Or even their parents. Like,
yeah, they can write it down when they say it.
That's so sweet.
So that's one collection that I have, and then the other collection that I have is with Serena from Beat Galleria. She's the 7-year-old entrepreneur from town. She does jewelry for kids and adults. So she's so much fun. So I was like, I want to create something where I include like a kid. Yeah. So one time in one vendor event, I went and she was the best business person I saw there.
I believe that.
And she sold me a ring. I don't use rings other than my wedding ring. And I was like, okay, I'll buy you something because I want to support. And then it came to me to create a little friend with her rings. So I talked to her. She was so excited. She created the design, and I just made her vision come to life.
I love that.
So that's why she has like 3 little friends, and then the little friends have chokers.
And
the
sparkly
chokers,
hair.
Yeah, and the chokers become rings.
So cute.
So like the little girls or little boys, whoever likes sparkle, want to play with something different, they can wear something from their friend.
That's so great. Or even like if you were going to kindergarten and you had to leave your toys behind, but you could bring a little rings.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Or like friendship rings too.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Yeah, friendship rings too. And then I have right now the Halloween ones. So the Halloween little friends come with 6 little cartoon friends, and it comes with a matching card game. So you can either use it like a regular matching game, where you just put them down and just flip them, or you can match the little friend to the little card. So if you have like Frankenstein, then you can just match Frankenstein.
You got a ghost and a ghost here.
So that's another
That's
way.
another cute little design too.
So that way, you can use them in more than just moving them around in like imagination.
So cute, yeah.
And you can also use them for books. So if you have like a Halloween book and it talks about ghosts, you can just use the ghost.
That is so cute.
Yeah, so I wanted to create, at least for the Halloween one, I wanted to create characters that were in books in a way that you can still keep using them.
So smart, yeah.
Because usually they have like ghost books and pumpkin books and stuff like that. So I wanted to create that, and then I just have other little friends like shapes, numbers, the colors. I have emotions. I did alphabet ones.
Cute.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I believe that's a lot. That's a big collection.
That was a very personalized one. She wanted the whole alphabet with matching discs.
Oh.
So the disc had a picture of whatever started with that word, so A for apple. So you can match it, and then the back it had like the letter, so you can use it both ways.
So cute. I can hear that being a lot of work, but that's awesome. Do you go do like a Christmas one?
I'm going to do a Christmas one, and then I'm gonna create a couple that you can use like as ornaments, so they can be personalized.
I love that.
So it can have like the kid's name or your family's name, and make them like ornaments.
Yeah.
So I thought that was like a cool idea.
Definitely, I love that.
And then I was planning on doing like some create your own sets. So you have your own set, and then the kids
like
get
with the markers or whatever. That's so smart.
So that's something that I want to do for.
Man, yeah, you have a lot going on.
Yeah, especially with like kids, I want to have something that they can create and be themselves.
Yeah.
So like handing them something simple like this, like a plain one, and then you'd be like,
yeah,
dang. And then being creative and doing something with it. That was something something that I want to provide. And they're cute, like
They're so cute.
what is it called, stocking stuffers?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So that would be something nice to put in there. And yeah, so I try to make everything with like a purpose, and so they can be used more than
Yeah,
once.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like they're almost gonna be heirloom things where like if the kids can have their little collections and then pass it on. That's
So
really cool.
I'm planning also on just coming around and at least in some vendor events have some kids create some, and then I create more.
I love that.
So that way they're included, because
Yeah.
that's something I want to like give the community, make the kids included.
That's so fun.
Just because sometimes they don't have that type of things, especially in vendor events. I want them to have something.
To come and like sit at the table.
Yeah, and like do something.
That's great.
Just because some of the stuff that you see in vendor events are catered more to like adults.
Absolutely.
So I wanted to be that change, be like, okay, let me do something different for them.
That gets exciting for them.
Yeah. So it's really cool to see like kids walking by and like, oh my god, look at this, and I'm like,
Come on in, sit
Yeah.
down. I love that.
yeah.
That's really cool.
So, but I do have like different ones and personalized ones. I've made like Marvel characters, Mickey Mouse,
That's
Peppa
so
Pig. I've done them all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing these too. I just
Of
wanted to
course.
make sure they got seen.
Yeah. No, thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.